green flags are Mets fans. But when Mets fans shout, "Go!" what they mean we all know. We've got no place to go but up.
At Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York, it's the New York Mets versus the Houston Astros. National League Baseball with the New York Mets is brought to you by Rheingold, New York's largest selling beer. What makes Rheingold New York's favorite? Maybe it's our Danish malt. Whatever it is, we must be doing something right.
Today's game is also being brought to you by WGY, your sports station for the Great Northeast. WGY brings you the full schedule of Mets regular season games live from major league parks throughout the country.
As the Mets and the Astros square off for the final series of the season. The Astros will be here again tomorrow night, and they close out the season here at Shea Stadium on Sunday afternoon. Tonight, pitching for the Astros, right-hander Larry Dierker. For the New York Mets, right-hander Jack Fisher. We'll be back with the start of tonight's game in just one moment. Now.
Going to be late for dinner tonight, dear?
Yeah, I've got to go over that Anderson deal with Fred.
Bob Watson is a nice guy with a nice family and with a nice business to support them. Bob Watson's also a good driver. Not the kind of a guy or driver that you'd normally expect to have to watch out for. Because normally Bob's mind is on his driving.
I can expect about a 34% discount on all items. That should mean a possible margin of, say, 6%. It's not bad.
But this morning, Bob's mind is on business. And that means at the next stop sign, you could get the business from Bob. Tens of thousands of good drivers make bad mistakes, fatal mistakes every year. One of those mistakes may involve you. Expect the unexpected, whenever, wherever you drive. At intersections, in oncoming traffic, even behind you. Always drive defensively. Always watch out for the other guy.
Now, Grady Hatton, the manager of the Astros, and Wes Western, the manager of the Mets, have exchanged their lineup cards at home plate, so let's check out the starting lineups and batting orders for these two teams. First for Houston, leading off in center field, Brock Davis. Batting second, the shortstop, Sonny Jackson. Batting third and playing second base, Joe Morgan. Hitting cleanup at first base, Chuck Harrison. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Rusty Stahl. Batting sixth in left field, Lee May. The Mets are taking the field. Batting seventh and catching for the Astros, Bill Heath. Batting eighth and playing third base, Bob Aspromani. Batting ninth and pitching, Larry Dierker. For the New York Mets, leading off, the shortstop, Bud Harrelson. Batting second and playing second base, Chuck Hillard. Batting third in center field, Cleon Jones. Batting fourth, the right fielder, Al Luplow. Batting fifth at first base, Ed Kranepool. Batting sixth and catching, Greg Goosen. Batting seventh and playing third base, Ed Pursuit. Batting eighth and playing left field, Danny Napoleon. Batting ninth and pitching, Jack Fisher. Jack Fisher has arrived at the mound, picked up the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Our national anthem.
our national anthem, the New York Mets are on the field. This broadcast comes to you through the courtesy of Rheingold Breweries Incorporated, the Brown and Williamson Tobacco Corporation, and the Sun Oil Company. Well, as you know, the Los Angeles Dodgers are on top in the National League race. They lead the Pittsburgh Pirates by 2 full games, the Giants by 3.5. The Dodgers are at Philadelphia tonight. The San Francisco Giants are at Pittsburgh, where it has been raining. We'll keep you posted on the progress of other games as we proceed with this one here at Shea Stadium in New York. The Mets on the field have Ed Kranepool at first, Chuck Hiller at second, Bud Harrelson at short, Ed Pursue at third, Danny Napoleon in left field, Cleon Jones in center field, and Al Luplow in right. Greg Goosen is the catcher, Jack Fisher is the pitcher. He has won 10 games and he has lost 14. Up to lead off now is Brock Davis. He's been up 19 times, had 2 hits, 1 double, 1 run batted in, hitting 105. At Oklahoma City during the regular season, he hit 261. Now the warm-ups are in at Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia. Claude Osteen for the Los Angeles Dodgers as they start the left-hander. Chris Short for the Phillies as they start the left-hander. Here's the first pitch of this game, and it's low for a ball. The umpire behind the plate is Tom Gorman. Lee Wire is at first base. Billy Williams is at second. And Frank Desline is at third. Atlanta scheduled at Cincinnati tonight, postponed because of rain in Cincinnati. Here's an attempt at a drag, but missed, and it's 1-1. The Chicago Cubs are at St. Louis tonight in a later start. And as we mentioned, the Giants in Pittsburgh, where it has been raining. The American League, the Yankees at Chicago tonight. Here's the pitch to Brock Davis. Swung on and hit into right field for a base hit. So Davis turns first and holds there as Luplow comes up with the ball. And Sonny Jackson is coming up, the shortstop. With a season's average of 290, he has 3 home runs and 25 runs batted in. Jack Fisher last year for the Mets won 8 and lost 24. So far this season he's won 10 and lost 14. Against Houston this year he's won 1 and lost 1. He steps off the rubber right now, and Jackson steps out of the batter's box. Fisher's lifetime record against the Houston Astros is 3 wins and 7 losses. He throws to first. Brock Davis is back safely. Fisher's 27 years of age, 6'2", 212-pounder. Now the pitch, and it is swung on and fouled out. Right down into the dirt. Strike 1. For the Houston Astros, Nellie Fox is on the coaching lines at first, and manager Grady Hatton is running the club from the coaching lines at third base here tonight. Jim Busby normally is the third base coach for the Astros, but Hatton's on the line. Here's a strike 1 pitch, and it is bunted on and fouled off. Brock Davis on his way to second, holds up, comes back to first. The runner was moving on the pitch. It is a 2-strike count now to Sonny Jackson to plate. The Mets already have clinched the season series from the Houston Astros. 2-strike delivery, and it's low and away for a ball. It's 1-2. Starting play tonight, the Mets are trailing the 8th place Astros by 4 1/2 games. So it is mathematically impossible for the Mets to overtake the Astros in the games remaining. Here's a pitch out. He's not going. Davis returns to the bag at first. 2-2 the count to Sonny Jackson. For the Mets to have maintained any chance of overtaking the Houston Astros, the Astros would have had to lose last night. They didn't. They beat Cincinnati 3-2. Now the runner goes, and here's a swing and a drive through the hole vacated by shortstop Harrelson into center for a base hit. Brock Davis goes to third, and on at first is Sonny Jackson. Well, with the runner going, Bud Harrelson moved to the bag to take a possible throw, and the ball was punched on a line just to the spot where Harrelson had vacated. It might have been a double play ball had he not gone, because it's likely he could have made the catch in the air and double the runner who had gone. But such are the ways of the hit-and-run play, so that the Astros have runners at first and third, nobody out, and Joe Morgan coming up. He's hitting .286, 5 home runs, and 42 runs batted in. Morgan batting left, with Astros leading at first and third, and the pitch in there for a called strike. Jack Fisher lost to the Astros at the Astrodome 5-3 on May 24th. He worked 2 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs. But then he shut out the Astros, also at the Astrodome, 3-0 on 4 hits on September 20th. He checks runners and throws to first. Back safely, Sonny Jackson. Another throw to first, and again Jackson dives back in safely. Brock Davis, the runner at third, and Chuck Harrison has moved out on deck for Houston. Another throw to first, close play, back safely. The Mets and Houston have played 15 games. The Mets have won 10, the Astros have won 5. On the message board in right field now, Osteen versus Short in Philadelphia. Here Fisher throws to first again, not in time. The message board will keep the fans informed here at Shea Stadium of the progress of the Dodger and Pirate games. Here's a curveball that's high, 1-1. No score. Houston batting in the top half of the first inning. With the Astros scheduled here again tomorrow night, and finally on Sunday afternoon, that'll be Fan Appreciation Day. 1-1 delivery with the runner at first going. Goosen throws to second, and he is out at second base. The runner at third holds. No advance by Brock Davis at third, and Sonny Jackson is thrown out. It's the 14th time this year he's been caught stealing. He has stolen 47 bases. The Jackson goes out. Greg Goosen to Bud Harrelson. One away, a runner at third, and a count of 2-1 now to Joe Morgan at the plate. Goosen's throw on the money at second base to get a very fleet Sonny Jackson, who's stolen 47 bases. Here's a pitch outside. Fisher goes behind 3-1 with Chuck Harrison on deck. This is a 3-1 delivery. Inside across the letters and a base on ball. Issued to Joe Morgan. So again, the Astros have runners at first and third, this time with one man out, and right-hand batter Chuck Harrison, the first baseman, coming up. He's hitting .251. He has 9 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Fisher checks the runners again. Pitch to Harrison. It's low and away. Goosen scooting out there on his knees to block that one. It's 1-0. Rusty Staub has moved out on deck for the Astros. Go to first base. Joe Morgan back safely. Fisher sets up, steps off the rubber to tighten up Morgan. Chuck Harrison at the plate steps out of the batter's box. Brock Davis, the runner at third base, taking a lead now down the line as Fisher sets up again and throws to first. Morgan's back safely. the stretch. Jack Fisher delivers to the plate. It swung on and missed. 1-1 to Chuck Harrison. Fisher takes the sign from catcher Greg Goosen. Now delivers a curveball low and away. It's 2-1. The only games played last night. Dodgers beat the Cardinals 2-1, and the Astros beat Cincinnati 3-2. The ground ball is short. Could be a double play. Harrison to Hiller to throw to first. A double play, and the side is out. Harrison to Hiller to Crane through. 6-4-3 if you're scoring. Side is out with no runs. 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. Score at the end of a half inning. The Astros nothing, and the Mets coming to bat.
This is WGY News. This is the sound that means news. Up to the minute, concise, and complete. From the facilities of NBC, Associated Press, United Press International, the United States Weather Bureau, a staff of stringers throughout a 26-county area, and a newsroom staff of experienced news people, WGY keeps you informed of the latest happenings. More than 20 times a day in regularly scheduled newscasts from 6 in the morning to midnight, WGY brings you the latest news from around the world, around the area, and across the street. And when something newsworthy happens, you get it in bulletin form when it happens. All this, plus specialized programs on farm news, sports, weather, and business, make WGY's news department your best information center for what's going on in the world today.
Going now to the bottom half of the first inning. The New York Mets will be sending up Bud Harrelson to face Larry Dierker. Young right-hander, 20 years of age, 6'4", 190-pounder from Woodland Hills, California. Dierker has won 10 and lost 7 this year for Houston. Against the Mets, he's won 1 and lost 2. Last year for the Astros, he won 7 and lost 8. His lifetime record against the Mets, 4 wins and 2 losses. Bud Harrelson is a young switch-hitting shortstop, batting left here against the right-hander, hitting .218 with 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in. Dierker's pitch is in for a called strike. Against the speed and bunting ability of Harrelson, third baseman Bob Aspromonte has moved in on the grass at third base for Houston. Pitch is low. Breaking ball, and Harrelson had started as though to drag the ball. He pulled the bat off, and it's 1-1. Chuck Hiller waiting on deck, and here's the pitch. In there for a call strike fastball as again Harrelson moved up as though to bunt. The Astros have Chuck Harrison at first, Joe Morgan at second, Sonny Jackson at short, and Bob Aspromonte are on at third. Lee May in left, Brock Davis in center, Rusty Staub in right. Bill Heath catching. Here's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeout credited to Larry Dierker.
Second position. Second base.
Chuck Hiller, the second baseman, coming up with the season's batting average of .289. He has 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. The American League, here is the final score. First game of a twilight doubleheader. Minnesota Twins 10 and the American League champion Baltimore Orioles 7. Here's the pitch high and away. Mudcat Grant got the win. Al Worthington relieved in the 9th. Dave McNally took the loss. Stu Miller relieved in the 8th. Rich Rollins, Harmon Killebrew, and Bob Allison had home runs, all for the Minnesota Twins. Here's a swing and a miss. 1-1 to Chuck Hiller. So now the Twins and the Orioles have another to play tonight. Kansas City at Detroit in a later start tonight. Cleveland at California in a much later start tonight. The Yankees at Chicago in a later start tonight. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Hiller. Swung on, popped up to third, and retreating is Aspromonte, and behind him is Sonny Jackson calling him off. Jackson makes the catch on the rim of the outfield grass behind Aspromonte. 2 away, and now Cleon Jones. The Mets center fielder is hitting .278. He has 8 home runs, 56 runs batted in. He brings a 6-game hitting streak into tonight's contest. He's had 8 hits in the last 22 times at bat, a clip of .364. Leon settles himself carefully into the batter's box to face Larry Dierker. Situation nobody on and 2 men out, no score. Pitch is a fastball in there for a called strike. Al Luplow has moved out on deck now for the Mets. The Mets club leaders are posted on the message board on the right. In base hit, Ron Hunt and Cleon Jones, 136 each. Here is the pitch low, and it bounced off the hand of umpire Tom Dorman. Takes a little walk around until the pain subsides. Leading in doubles for the Mets, Ken Boyer with 28 and Hunt second with 19. And triples, Ed Brissou with 5. Jones and Swoboda 4 each. Home runs, Cranepool 15, Boyer 14. Runs batted in, Boyer 61, Jones 56. Here's a swing and a foul ball back and out of play. Leading the Mets in runs scored, Cleon Jones with 74. Ron Hunt second with 63. And among the pitchers, Bob Shaw has 12 wins. Dennis Rybat has 11. Shaw had 1 before he came to the Mets. He has had 11 wins with the New York Mets. Rybat has won 11. 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground, back to Larry Dierker, who uses all his height to pull it down at the mound and throw on the first in time. The side is out. Well, it was a high bounder going back to the mound, and Larry Dierker reached as high as he could, pulled it down, made the play on to first base. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. The score at the end of an inning is Houston nothing and the Mets nothing. Well, the Houston Astros will be here again tomorrow night. It'll be ladies' night here at Shea Stadium. Rob Gardner will pitch for the New York Mets, and Chris Zachary will be going for the Houston Astros. Then on Sunday afternoon, Fan Appreciation Day, it will be the New York Mets and the Houston Astros playing the final game of the 1966 season here at Shea Stadium. So after this one, there are 2 more. 2 more opportunities to see the Mets before they open up here next spring. According to the tentative National League schedule recently released to the press, that's the schedule to open here against the Pittsburgh Pirates next year. As we go to the bottom half, or rather to the top half of the second inning, it's going to be Rusty Staub coming up to lead off for the Houston Astros. Staub's hitting .282. He has 13 home runs and 80 runs batted in.
Rusty Staub, number 10.
Jack Fisher with a record of 10 wins and 14 losses, trying for his 11th win of the year tonight, which would tie him with Dennis Rybat and Bob Shaw. Here's a pitch low for a ball for most wins by a Met right-hander. As we pointed out just a moment ago, Shaw, of course, won 1 for the Giants before he came to the Mets this year, so that Shaw has a total of 12 victories for the season. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Rusty Staub. Breaking ball in there for a called strike. 1-1. Before tonight's game, Ralph Kiner was talking to a former Met and former National League star with the Dodgers, Duke Snyder. What did the Duke have to say, Ralph?
Well, the Duke is in great spirits, and of course he's got a new hairdo. He's coming up with black hair all over, and he used to have silver all through his hair even when he was young. And he said he's the only manager that managed the season, started out with gray hair and ended up with black.
Usually goes the other way around.
That's right.
Pitches in for a called strike, 1-2. Yeah, I understand that when the Duke first went back to his ball club with the new hairdo and so forth, they didn't recognize him.
That's right. He said he walked to the lobby, said hello to 2 players, and didn't even bear the low back to him.
Here's the pitch inside. It's 2-2.
That has some great
possibilities.
Oh, doesn't though, for those curfew hours.
Nobody out with the Astros batting here in the top half of the second inning. Now Rusty Staub back out of the batter's box. Fisher delivers 2-2. And it's high and away. So the count runs out full now. It's 3-2 to Rusty Staub. This is a payoff pitch. Slam ball on the right field line, bounding around the seats and out of play. So the count continues full at 3-2. We repeat that the San Francisco Giants are scheduled in Pittsburgh tonight, where it's been raining. Now pitch it on the ground, and it's taken a deep short by Harrison. A long throw, and he makes it in time. Rainbow having to give it a big stretch, but Harrison got enough on it to nip Rusty Staub. There's one away. That brings up Lee May, the left fielder, who is hitting .283 with 9 home runs and 34 runs batted in. Lee May was brought up from Louisville to the Milwaukee Braves in 1959 when the Braves were making a run at what they hoped would be a pennant. It didn't turn out that way. They finished in a tie with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers took 2 straight in the playoffs to win that pennant in 1959, and then took the World Championship, the Dodgers did, from the Chicago White Sox in 6 games. Here's the pitch, fouled off and out of play. Lee May stayed with the Milwaukee Braves until last year when he was traded to Houston. The deal that saw pitcher Ken Johnson go to the Braves. Lee May has an avocation of singing popular songs. He has recorded a number of popular songs. Here's a strike one pitch. And for a call, strike 2. Fastball on the outside corner. Lee May doesn't think so. He is discussing the call with umpire Tom Gorman. And early this year, when Lee May was not in the lineup, the Houston Astros, somebody asked him if they were playing his recordings at the Astrodome. He said, they ain't even playing me. Count to him is 0-2 with 1 man out and nobody on base. Overly close stance from Jack Fisher with a no wind-up delivery. Brings it way outside. It's 1-2. Ken Fisher takes the tie from Greg Goosen, deals 1-2, and it's a little high and a little tight. Driving Lee May back with a 2-2 count. Coming into tonight's ballgame, the Houston Astros have won 70 games and lost 89. The Mets have won 65 games and lost 93. 2-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to third, taken deep by Pursuit, and a long throw, and he's safe. He beat it out. Pursuit got it over there to Craneville, but not in time to get Lee May, who legged it out. Catcher Bill Heath coming up, hitting .314 with 8 runs batted in. The 10th place Chicago Cubs have won 59 games and lost 100. So the Chicago Cubs cannot get out of 10th place. New York Mets cannot get out of 9th place, and the Houston Astros cannot get out of 8th place, regardless of what happens from here to the end of the season. Here's a pitch to Heath, and it's hit off the end of the bat, rolling off out of play. It's strike 1. Bob Aspromonte is swinging bats on deck. General Eckert, the commissioner of baseball, was here before tonight's ball game as a documentary was being filmed in which he plays a prominent part. Strike 1 pitch, misses everything, comes all the way back to the screen, and moving on to second is Lee May. A wild pitch charged against Jack Fisher. That one sailed over the outstretched glove of catcher Greg Goosen and all the way back to the screen. Astros have a runner at second, 1 away. As you know, in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles have long since wrapped up the American League pennant. First time that Baltimore has won a pennant. 1-1 pitch. Inside low, 2-1. And for longtime baseball fans, of course, they are well aware that the Baltimore franchise was once the St. Louis Browns. This is a 2-1 delivery. Breaks low for a ball, 3-1. Ralph, I wonder if the St. Louis Browns fan club is still active in St. Louis. I know it was up till a year or two ago. I haven't heard too much of it lately.
Well, I guess Eddie Goodell dying might have hurt them a little bit. The midget that played for the Browns and Bill Beck at the club. Browns won the pennant back in 1944.
Yes, they did. Who was the manager? Luke Sewell?
Oh, no, I think it was.
I'd have bet. Here's a swing and a ground ball towards second base. It's taken there by Hiller, and he plays over to Cranesville in time. Lee May moves on to third on the infield out. There's 2 men out. And Bob Aspromonte is coming up. Astros hitting .250, 8 home runs, 52 runs batted in, a native of Brooklyn. Greg Goosen goes to the mound now to have a word with Jack Fisher. Series, of course, this year opens in the home park of the National League champion, having opened last year at Minnesota as the Twins won the American League pennant last year. Now the pitch to Aspromonte. Sidearm delivery low for ball 1. So if no playoffs are necessary, the World Series will be opening up on Wednesday in the National League Park. 2 games, then a travel day, then 3 if 3 are necessary, and a travel day, and then 2 more back in the National League. Here's a pitch low, 2-0.
See, Lindsay, that you're going to do the color and pre- and post-game coverage of the World Series for the Armed Forces Radio Network.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, Ralph, because as a soldier, I have heard those broadcasts overseas, and I figured I'd like to try this end for a change.
We had a recruiter out here earlier before this ball game started. It might change your mind.
As a matter of fact, you're right. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. We sat up here in the booth, and for once, your pregame show got all of our undivided attention. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Swung on it on the ground back to third. As a matter of fact, along the press row here, everybody was gathered to watch your pregame show, and we were watching, of course, your guests, but mostly we enjoyed watching you and Duke Snyder, because that was something to see.
Yes, it was, lady.
I saw this sign across the young lady.
Oh, you noticed that, all right.
Miss what? Say Miss
New Action Army.
New Action Army. Here's a swing and a high pop to short center field, and back there's Bud Harrelson. He makes the catch, and the side is on. 4 runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. The score at the end of an inning and a half is Houston nothing and the Mets nothing. Say, did you ever stop to think how many lonesome travelers there are here in London? How thirsty they get? Well, I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I am a lonely and a lonesome traveler. I've been to traveling on. I traveled here and then
From California to New York, the American folk singer travels here and yonder, carrying with him the music of the whole world and its peoples. And sometimes when the traveling gets thirsty, he puts down his guitar and accompanies himself with a cold beer, maybe Rheingold. And in New York City, where more songs and travelers stop than anywhere else in the world, more people buy Rheingold Extra Dry than any other beer. How come? Maybe it's the Oregon hops we use. Who knows? But we must be doing something right.
We're going now to the bottom half of the second. Before we do, we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
Standing in the fourth position. Right fielder.
Your You're tuned to 810 on your dial. WGY Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. The voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy here at Shea Stadium in New York, and Al Luplow is up now to lead off for the Mets as Larry Dierker deals a pitch to the left-hand batter and foul back out of play. Luplow is hitting .255 for the season. He has 7 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Strike one pitch to Al Luplow. It's fastball low. He shortened up his Audubon, took it 1-1. Ralph, I have never seen your pregame show get that much attention from the crowd down in the lower field boxes. They started jamming up the aisles and everything as this, well, sort of scantily clad young lady came out there under the lights. Here's an attempted bunt to foul back into the seats and out of play.
Lindsey, that's the biggest crowd we've drawn in years down there. And when she was also titled Miss Bikini, you can understand why we drew that crowd.
And I noticed that our producer, Bob Andrews, stayed down there for the show. It's the first time I've seen him there this year.
We had a tough time getting anybody to work on that show.
There's a swing and a little number back in front of the plate. Taken by Dierker, tossed to first in time, and Luplow grounds out, pitch it to first. That'll bring up Ed Cranepool, the first baseman. Hitting .253, he brings a 6-game hitting streak into tonight's ball game. He has had 10 hits in his last 24 times up. A .417 clip.
Back in the days of World War II, they used to recruit soldiers by marching bands, but I think maybe this way is a little bit better.
See, they're going to get more soldiers. I can see that. Here's a swing and a foul ball backing out of play. You know, sometimes a college will recruit a football player, and the head coach will take him out to dinner and wine him, dine him, and he assigns a scholarship. He'll see the head coach again for 2 years. Here's a pitch that's high and tight for a ball, and I think that might be the way with this recruiting campaign. Waiting on deck here is Greg Goosen. 1-1 delivery. Foul back and out of play. It's 1-2. Stadium in Philadelphia. The Dodgers did not score in the first inning. The Phillies did not score in the first inning. Dodgers nothing, Phillies nothing going to the second. Claude Osteen against Chris Short. It's raining at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. The Giants and the Pirates schedule there. Low for a ball. So the start of that game at Forbes Field is being held up as they're making an effort to get it in. The Dodgers lead the Pirates by 2 games. Popping to short left. Lee May coming in, and Sonny Jackson going out. Jackson makes the catch just over Lee May's head. Lee May ducks down, and Jackson gloved the ball just over his head. 2 away, and now Greg Goosen, the catcher. Goosen's hitting .231, 1 home run, and 5 runs batted in. Dierker with a breaking pitch. Swung on and fouled into the seats and out of play. The Rheingold Chug-A-Mug holds 12 ounces of Rheingold Extra Dry, and it has a pull tab so that you don't need an opener. It's just about the handiest way there is of quenching your thirst, and you'll find Chug-A-Mug 6-packs at your local store. Greg Goosen broke the bat on that last swing. He's gone back over to get a new stick. Nobody on base here, and no score. The Mets and the Houston Astros. Here's a Pitch in for a call strike. At time, 1-2. Inside, 2-2. Ed Pursuit is on deck for the Mets. Larry Durker takes the kick now at the rubber. Smoothing out the dirt just behind it. Meanwhile, Greg Gooston swings the bat as he waits. 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, and it pops out of the glove of Bill Heath. And he tags Gooston, and the side is retired. Second strikeout for Durker. Gooston did not make an attempt to run after the ball was dropped by the catcher. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. The score at the end of 2 full innings is Houston nothing and the Mets nothing. In the National League, it's all-night action. With the Dodgers batting on the top of the second. Dodgers nothing, Phillies nothing. Claude Osteen, who has won 17 and lost 13 against Chris Short, who's won 18 and lost 10. Giants scheduled at Pittsburgh, and it's raining at Forbes Field. The Atlanta Braves scheduled at Cincinnati. That one has been postponed because of rain. And the Chicago Cubs are at St. Louis in a later start. In the American League, it's all-night action. The New York Yankees are scheduled at Chicago against the White Sox in a later start. In the first game of a twilight doubleheader, the Minnesota Twins defeated the American League champion Baltimore Orioles 10-7. Mudcat Grant got the win. He's 13-13. Dave McNally took the loss. He's 13-6. Rich Rollins, Harmon Killebrew, and Bob Allison had homers for Minnesota. For Killebrew, his 38th of the season. Now we have the warm-ups in the second game. Jim Merritt for Minnesota and Jim Palmer for Baltimore. Kansas City had Detroit in a later start. Cleveland had California in a later. We go into the third inning here now, and for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsay. First man up will be Larry Durker, right-hand batting pitcher, and Larry swings at the curveball as Jack Fisher starts off at strike one. Durker with 10 hits and 65 times up, batting 154. Jack Fisher has given up 3 hits. He has allowed no runs. The only 3 hits of the ballgame. Pitch back is hit out in front of the plate. Pitcher comes off the mound in a hurry. He has the ball. His throw to first base is in plenty of time for the out. So Jack gets his first here in the top of the third, and it brings up for the second time Brock Davis. Brock playing in center field. Davis singled to right field his first time up. He's batting 150. Now has 3 hits and 20 times up. Hit 261 in Oklahoma City this year. Left-hand batter. Houston, no runs, 3 hits. The Mets have no runs and no hits. Mets played the Astros 15 previous ball games, and the Mets won 10 and lost 5 of those. Right here in New York, the Mets have won 5 of the 6 games played. First pitch to Brock Davis, a called strike over the outside corner as Fisher goes to the fastball. Astros have finished up their home season. Pitch back is swung on and fouled down in the dirt, strike 2. Mets will outdraw the Astros this year. In fact, they already have. Astros at home have drawn 1,872,108. The Mets have drawn 1,882,267, with this game yet to be recorded, and also Saturday and Sunday's game. Now the 2-strike pitch. Checked on, and it's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Astros on the road drew 1,059,244 through their first 67 dates, with 3 more to go. And totally, they have drawn close to 2,931,000. They will miss the 3 million mark, which the Mets have already passed for total attendance this year. Mets have drawn 3,059,801, both on the road and at home. Next pitch is outside, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis, a left-hander with a 2-2 count, and Jack Fisher checks out his signs, comes back again. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Strike three. The ball dropped by Greg Houston, but he picks it up in time to make the tag right by home plate on Brock Davis as he starts off for first.
We go into the third inning here now, and for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you, Lindsay. First man up will be Larry Durker, right-hand batting pitcher, and Larry swings at a curveball as Jack Fisher starts off at strike one. Durker with 10 hits and 65 times up, batting 154. Jack Fisher has given up 3 hits. He has allowed no runs. The only 3 hits of the ballgame. Pitch back is hit out in front of the plate. Fisher comes off the mound in a hurry. He has the ball. His throw to first base is in plenty of time for the out. So Jack gets his first here in the top of the third, and it brings up for the second time Brock Davis. Brock playing in center field. Davis singled to right field his first time up. He's batting 150. Now has 3 hits and 20 times up. Hit 261 in Oklahoma City this year. Left-hand batter. Houston, no runs, 3 hits. The Mets have no runs and no hits. Mets played the Astros 15 previous ball games, and the Mets won 10 and lost 5 of those. Right here in New York, the Mets have won 5 of the 6 games played. First pitch to Brock Davis, a called strike over the outside corner as Fisher goes to the fastball. Astros have finished up their home season. Pitch back is swung on and fouled down in the dirt, strike 2. Mets will outdraw the Astros this year. In fact, they already have. Astros at home have drawn 1,872,108. The Mets have drawn 1,882,267, with this game yet to be recorded, and also Saturday and Sunday's game. Now the 2-strike pitch. Checked on, and it's ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Astros on the road drew 1,059,244 through their first 67 days, with 3 more to go. And totally, they have drawn close to 2,931,000. They will miss the 3 million mark, which the Mets have already passed for total attendance this year. Mets have drawn 3,059,801, both on the road and at home. Next pitch is outside, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis, a left-hander with a 2-2 count, and Jack Fisher checks out his signs, comes back again. And the pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. The ball dropped by Greg Houston, but he picks it up in time to make the tag right by home plate on Brock Davis as he starts off for first. Now Fisher with his first strikeout, his second out here in the top of the third. And it brings up Sonny Jackson, who singled in the left field on a perfect hit-and-run play his first time up. Jackson batting .291. Jackson, a left-hand batter with exceptionally good speed, so the Mets infield has shortened up. Outfield very shallow. First pitch, a curveball. It's too low, ball 1. Jackson has hit 3 home runs, driven in 25. And he is one of the leading candidates for the Rookie of the Year honor. Has stolen 47 bases, been thrown out 14 times. 1-0 pitch is taken over for a called strike. The count at 1-1. Jackson thrown out for the last time by Greg Houston in the first inning when he tried to steal second base with a runner at third. Pitch back is looked at over the inside corner, and Jack Fisher has his second strike. The count 1-2. First 2 batters for the Astros got on base. They were at first and third with no one out, but Jack Fisher worked out of the inning, getting Chuck Harrison hit into a double play. Next pitch is grounded slowly out to second. Charging quickly, Chuck Hiller. He has no play. Chuck couldn't get the ball out of the glove, and Jackson beat the play out. So Sonny Jackson with 2 for 2 now. That's the 4th hit off Jack Fisher, and with 2 men away, the batter will be the second baseman, Joe Morgan. Oh, that speed is quite an asset. The Dodgers did not score in the top of the second. So the score, the Dodgers nothing, Philadelphia nothing. Otto Steen pitching for the Dodgers with a record of 17-13, his best winning year. And Chris Short looking for his 19th win. He has 10 losses, pitching for the Phillies. Phillies batting in the bottom half of the second. First pitch to Joe Morgan, a fastball that's called strike one. Morgan walked in a 3-1 pitch his first time up and then was involved in the double play that got the Mets out of the inning in the first. Morgan, a left-hand batter, also with good speed, batting .286. Sonny Jackson leading off at first base. No score in the game. Next pitch is swung on and missed. Curveball that time, strike two. Two-strike count. Jack Fisher reading the signs. Eddie Kranepool holding against the runner at first. Sonny Jackson there. Big lead. He's going. The pitch is outside. The throw down to second base is not in time, and he slides in safely with his 48th stolen base. This is his rookie year. He has set an all-time record for stolen bases in the National League by a rookie, and he is now threatening the Major League record as he has picked up his 48th stolen base. Sonny Jackson stealing second in scoring position now with the count 1-2. Ball was high and away and a good pitch to throw for Greg Goosen, but he couldn't get it down there in time. So Jackson now stands all even with Greg Goosen. He has been thrown out once and he has stolen one. Now the 1-2 pitch, a let-up foul back over the top of the screen. Count stays at 1-2. Checking the outfield as he moves off at second base. And Jack Fisher's next pitch is over the inside corner, a slider over for called strike three, and that retires the side. Second strikeout for Jack Fisher. They both came in this inning. No runs, one hit. There were no errors, and one man was left on base. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings, Houston nothing, the New York Mets nothing. Now here's a word from Rheingold.
I don't know the reason. I can't tell you why. Some more people like Rheingold, the beer extra dry. But we must be doing something. Yes, we must be doing something right. Yes, we must be doing something. Yes, we must be doing something absolutely right. Positively, woo, absolutely right.
Going to the bottom half of the third of a scoreless ball game, and Eddie Basu will lead off for the Mets here against Larry Durker. Larry, a right-hander, big, strong, young boy. Fine record this year of pitching for the Houston Astros. The first pitch is called a ball. Durker has 110 and lost 7. The all-time record for stolen bases by any ball player in the major leagues is 49. So Sonny Jackson's one behind tying that record. It was set back in 1910. Next pitch is called a strike, and the count evens out at 1-1. It was set in 1910 by Rolla Zelder, who was playing for the Chicago White Sox in his rookie year. Now the 1-1 pitch, a slider outside. Count 2 balls, 1 strike. So we might see another history-making record broken here in this 3-game series, the Mets playing against the Astros to conclude the 1966 season. Ball game tonight, ball game tomorrow night. The game tomorrow night, Rob Gardner is pitching for the Mets against Chris Zachary. Next pitch is hit in the air out toward right field. Rusty Staub ambles to his right, makes the play. Mets will close out the season with a Sunday game at 2 o'clock. Danny Napoleon now batting for the first time. Headed to 2 before flying out, batting with an average of 222. Napoleon hitting 233. Danny has been at bat 30 times for the Mets and has had 7 hits, 2 of them doubles. And Durker with a fastball gets a foul strike at strike 1. Scoreless ball game. The Astros with all the base hits. They have 4. Larry Durker has retired his first 7 batters. One strike delivery by the right-hander. Curve that rolls off the table over the knees. A strike 2 call. Durker has a big rolling curveball and has a hard fastball. Here's his 2-strike pitch. Again, the curve, and this one breaks down too far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now Durker back to Napoleon, and the pitch is a fastball, and Danny has a vicious swing, and the pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Third strikeout for Larry Durker. That pitch was out of the strike zone, up in his eye. And now with 2 men away here in the third, the batter will be Jack Fisher.
Jack Fisher, number 22.
Dick has been up 65 times. He's had 6 hits. And he takes the first pitch. It's called a ball. Fisher's had 2 doubles, driven in no runs, and has an 0.92 average. He's slightly under his weight. Now the 1-0 pitch grounded out to short. Sonny Jackson charging, takes the half hop, throws wild to first base, but Chuck Harrison makes a good catch of the ball as he comes off the bag down toward the home plate side, and then makes the tag on Jack Fisher off of the bag by about 3 strides. That retires the side, and Larry Durker has now retired his first 9 men in order. And the score at the end of 3, the Astros nothing, the Mets.
This is James Mason. Imagine, if you will, a dragon. A great red, fire-breathing dragon gone mad. Racing across the ground, leaping high into trees, jumping from limb to limb, chasing thousands of panic-stricken animals before it. A dragon so powerful that no force on earth can stop it. A fairy tale, you say. Then you've never seen a forest fire. And you probably haven't heard that 9 out of 10 forest fires are caused by careless people. Don't you be careless. Remember Smokey Bear's ABCs. A, always hold matches till cold. B, be sure to drown all campfires. Stir the ashes and drown them again. And C, crush all smokes dead out. Please, only you can prevent forest fires.
Going to the top of the 4th inning of a scoreless ball game. Houston Astros coming up against Jack Fisher. Jack has given up no runs, allowed 4 hits. He has struck out 2, got them both in the third, and has walked 1. First man that Jack will be pitching to will be the first baseman, Chuck Harrison, and he hits the first pitch on the fly out to left field. Moving back in the warning track and now waiting to make the catch is Danny Napoleon. 1 away in the top of the 4th. The batter now coming up is Rusty Staub. Rusty was out in a fine play by Bud Harrelson his first time up.
Rusty Staub.
Bud had to go deep in the hole, and then he made the long throw to first base to get the left-hand batter. Rusty batting .282 with 13 home runs and 80 runs rented in. And Fisher's second pitch of the inning is taken for a called strike as Rusty moves up as throw to bunt, but took the ball on through for a strike call. That play, Rusty stopped straight away. Al Lupo in right field is deep. Now Fisher with his 1 strike pitch. Breaking ball that breaks down too low, and it's 1-1. Fisher looking for his 11th victory. He's lost 14 this year. Mets for the first time have 3 10-game winners, 3+ 10-game winners. Next pitch is called a strike, and it's now 1-2. At the end of 2, the Dodgers, nothing. The Philadelphia Phillies, nothing. Rod Osteen with a 17-13 record against Chris Short, who has won 18 and lost 10. Ground ball hit out slowly toward the mound. Fisher picks it up, throws to first base, and retire Rusty Staub by about 5 steps. So the Mets have their second out here in the top of the 4th. And now the batter for the Astros will be Lee May, the left fielder. Lee beat out a hit to the right side of Eddie Basu. Eddie made the play on the line. Lee May, a left-hand batter, but couldn't get the throw off to first base in time. So Lee May, his 100th hit this year, he's batting at .285. Next pitch is called a ball, so the count 1-0 on Lee May. San Francisco scheduled against the Pirates, and it's still raining in Pittsburgh. Atlanta scheduled against Cincinnati, postponed because of rain. Chicago playing at St. Louis, underway now. Ferguson Jenkins against Dick Hughes. Next pitch is popped up back of home. Coming back to make the catch is Greg Goosen to retire the side. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jack Fisher. And the score through 3.5 innings, Houston nothing, the Mets nothing. Sometimes things roll easy and sometimes they don't roll at all. Either way, here's a song with a message for you. Roll on a button, roll on easy. How can I roll when the wheels don't go? This old hammer kills the charm hanging. Won't get me. No, it won't get me.
And in New York City, more people roll on easy with Rheingold Extra Dry than with any other beer. Maybe they like our natural carbonation, but whatever it is, we must be doing something right.
Roll on, buddy. Roll on easy. Now how can I roll when the wheels don't go?
That's half of the 4th to come your way as we move along in the ball game. It's scoreless. The Astros have all the hits. They have a total of 4. In the first 3 innings, Larry Dierker retired the Mets in order. And now he starts out again against Bud Harrelson. Bud struck out his first time up. Bud hitting .216. And Larry Dierker, the big right-hander, starts off with the first pitch. It's grounded down to second base. Joe Morgan has it. His throw to first base retires Bud Harrelson by 4 or 5 strikes. So on one pitch, 1 away in the bottom half of the 4th, and it brings up Chuck Hiller, who pops it short his first time up. Chuck batting .288 with 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Left-hand batter. And a curveball breaks in the dirt. It's ball 1. Chuck was asking Duke Snyder if he had on a mat before the ball game. Hairpiece. Ground ball hit through the middle, coming over the shortstop. And Sonny Jackson is thrown to first base in time for the out. That ball was right through the middle of the mound. But Sonny Jackson got a good jump on it, and as the ball was slowed up, as it hit the mound, it gave him time to get to the ball and make the play at first. That'll bring up Cleon Jones, who grounded back to the mound his first time up. No score. 2 men away in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Cleon batting .278 brought a 6-game hitting streak into the ball game. 8 hits and 22 times up. And Larry Larry Dierker with a fastball that's lined out toward right field. Rusty Staub is there, and he's waiting for it to make the play to retire the side. So another 1-2-3 inning. 12 in a row for Larry Dierker, and as we go now to the top of the fifth with the score at 0-0, once again, here's Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph. The New York Mets will be here again tomorrow night. Ladies' night on Saturday night, and then on Sunday afternoon, it'll be the final game of the season here at Shea Stadium. Tickets are available for the two remaining games. The advanced ticket window here at Shea Stadium, open 8 to 6 on weekdays, 9 to 5 Saturdays and Sundays. The Met ticket office at Grand Central Station is at the foot of the 42nd Street and Vanderbilt Avenue ramp. It is open weekdays 8 to 6, Saturdays 8:30 to 4. There is a Met ticket office at Macy's in Manhattan, 34th Street and 7th Avenue. The ticket office is on the main floor near the 7th Avenue entrance. And for Long Islanders, there is a Met ticket office at Macy's in Huntington, Long Island, in the Walt Whitman Shopping Center. It's open during regular store hours. Reservations for box and reserve seats may be made at all Howard Clothes stores during regular store hours, and also at any branch of the Manufacturers Hanover Trust Company during banking hours. Season ticket applications for 1967 are now being accepted. Right Ticket Department, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York, zip code 11368, or phone 672-3000 for information. Bill Heath is up. Fisher's pitch hits well in front of the plate, bounds in where it's blocked by Greg Goose and ball one. At Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia, going to the bottom half of the third inning, the Dodgers nothing, the Phillies nothing. Claude Osteen against Chris Short. San Francisco at Pittsburgh, Forbes Field, it's still raining. Here's a pitch low for a ball. 2-0 now to Bill Heath, up for his second time. He grounded out second to first in the second inning. Total here, Houston, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. The Mets, no runs, no hits, no errors. Fisher's delivery hit on the ground towards second. Hiller over, scoops it up, plays the crane pool, 1 away. Why don't you look for the Rheingold Chug-a-Mug display at your local store or tavern? The Chug-a-Mug looks and sounds just like what it is. It's a good, thirst-quenching drink of beer. 12 ounces of Rheingold Extra Dry, and you can drink it right from the mug. Bob Aspromonte has been up one time, and he popped out to shortstop. Pitch is inside for a ball. Aspromonte batting number 8 in the Houston batting order. Fisher takes the sign from Gooseman. No wind-up delivery, and the pitch is low. 2-0. One man out and nobody on base, and there is no score in the game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-1. Delivery hit on the ground towards short. A big hop up to Harrelson. He guns it across the crane pole in time. Harrelson showing off a strong arm. 2 away. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
You're tuned to 810 on your dial. WGY Schenectady, the smoothest sound around. The voice of the Mets in the great Northeast.
Lindsey Nelson with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner at Shea Stadium in New York. The Mets and the Astros 0-0. The first pitch to pitcher Larry Dierker's outside for a ball. Dierker's been up one time and he grounded out pitcher to first. Here's a swing and a high foul ball to the right side now to play. 1-1 to count now to Dierker. Swing's a pretty good bat. A healthy cut at that one. Now 1-1 delivery. Swung on. and 2. This will be a 1-2 pitch. And it is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Pitcher with his third strikeout of the ball game. That's out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. Score at the end of 4.5 is this and nothing, and that's nothing. Let's talk bowling. That's the sound a bowling ball makes when it knocks down 10 pins. And that's the name of the game, bowling. Hi there, friends. This is Howard Tupper. I'm here to tell you about WGY's newest venture into the sports world, a talk show about the 10-pin game, bowling, a program in which you may take an active part. Starting next week, Thursday, October 6th at 6:35 p.m., Let's Talk Bowling will make its debut. It'll be a 25-minute package filled with news from the world of bowling, stories about the big guys and the little fellows in the sport, tournament topics, high scores, plus a weekly guest. One of the top area bowlers will be on hand to help you with your game and answer your questions about bowling. Telephone number 374-3318. Make a note of it now, 374-3318. Remember, Let's Talk Bowling starts next week, Thursday, October 6th at 6:35 p.m. on WGY Schenectady. Going down to the bottom half of the fifth inning, the Mets will be sending up Al Luflo to face right-hander Larry Dierker, who up to this point, through the first 4 innings, has hurled a no-hitter. As the New York Mets not only have had no hits, they have had no base runners, as Larry Dierker has hurled perfect baseball, retiring 12 men in a row, and Luflo has been up one time, grounded out pitcher to first. So the fans begin to buzz a little bit as we get along here to the bottom half of the fifth inning. In this fine hurling performance by Dierker, who's 20 years of age and has already won 10 games this year for the Astros. Here's a pitch high and away for a ball. Fans are starting a little chant now of "Let's go Mets." Swung on and popped up, back of third. Aspromonte retreats, Sonny Jackson beside him. Astro calls and makes the catch. One away. That'll bring up Ed Cranesville, as Larry Dierker has now retired 13 consecutive batters from the start of the ball game. Mets have had no runs, no hits, no base runners. Cranesville popped out to short in the second inning. Pitch to the left-hand batter, and it's fouled off for strike 1. Brought a 6-game hitting streak into tonight's ball game. Strike 1 delivery. Fastball swung on and missed. Strike 2. Larry Dierker firing that ball in with a long, easy motion tonight, throwing well. And here's the 2-strike delivery. In there for a call, strike 3. Cut an outside corner, strikeout number 4 for Dierker. Young man now has retired 14 consecutive batters. 2 men out, nobody on base in the fifth, and Greg Gooson's up. He's been up one time and was called out on strike. Gooson over to the Rawson bag. Fingers it briefly. Now let's send for a thousand catcher Phil. He dips into the fluid, wind up in the pitch, swung on, foul back up, screen out of play for strike 1. Ed Brissou kneeling in the on-deck circle. Dierker goes to the Rawson bag again. Defensively, Houston aligns straight away. Strike 1, pitch to Gooson. Curveball is on the ground, foul, back of third. He drilled that one hard, but foul by about a foot. Astro came over, couldn't nearly get to it. It rebounded all the way down to the left field corner where Lee May is tossing it back to the ball boy. But the count to Gooson now goes to 2 strikes. strike delivery. A little tight. 1-2. Derker has faced 14 men and has retired them in order. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off into the seats on a play. Off to the left side. Well back into the field boxes. Hits the last throw and bounds on up into the lowish deck. 1-2 to Greg Goose. Yogi Berra on the coaching lines at first, and Whitey Herzog at third for the New York Mets. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and it's a little low. 2-2 now to Goose. It was a big motion by Derker as he came in with the curveball. 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Strike three. The side is out. 5 strikeouts for Derker, and he has retired 15 consecutive batters in a perfect pitching performance through 5 innings of play. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. The score at the end of 5 full innings is Houston nothing and the Mets nothing. Sunday will be the final day of the season here at Shea Stadium, the Astros and the New York Mets, and it's been designated by the Mets as Fan Appreciation Day at Shea Stadium. This year, the New York Mets have drawn more fans than any Mets team ever has before coming into tonight's ball game. For 67 days, the Mets have drawn 1,882,267 fans. So the Met management, with a wish to show their appreciation, has designated Sunday as Fan Appreciation Day. Now, the youngsters coming into the ballpark, 16 years of age and under, will receive, upon entering the park, a replica of the Mets batting helmet. It's in Mets blue with foam rubber. By the way, the ground crew, Johnny McCarthy's ground crew, is getting a hand. They have been out to drag the diamond at the end of 5. As they come off, they're getting a hand from the fans who are in sort of a festive mood here tonight. And they'll be that way on Sunday, too, and there'll be a handsome gift for all the fans here on Sunday afternoon. As we go to the top half of the 6th inning, top of the batting order, Brock Davis up for the Houston Astros to face Jack Fisher. Here is the pitch. It's in for a call strike. As Davis squared around his toe to butt, pulled the bat off. It was in the strike zone. Strike 1. The Astros got 2 base hits. Top of the 1st. Davis and Jackson had back-to-back base hits in the top of the 1st. Lee May had one in the 2nd. Sonny Jackson had one in the 3rd. Those are the 4 hits that Houston had. Here's a pitch on away. 1-1 to Brock Davis. Jack Fisher has retired the last 7 batters that he's faced, going back to Sonny Jackson's base hit in the 3rd inning. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Curveball breaks low and off the shin guard of Greg Goose and on over to the corner of the Mets dugout. 2-1 to Brock Davis, with Sonny Jackson waiting there on deck. Fisher with his no wind-up delivery. There's a swing and a ground ball to short. Harrelson gets the big out, plays the crane fool, and Brock Davis grounds out short to first. So now Fisher has retired 8 consecutive batters. Sonny Jackson up. He's been up twice, had both base hits both times. Single in the 1st and beat out a slow roll in the 2nd and the 3rd. He was thrown out stealing in the 1st inning and stole a base, his 48th of the season in the 3rd inning. Jackson has had a fine rookie season at shortstop for the Houston Astros. Pitch is high and away for a ball. The Astros this year, of course, have closed out their home schedule since they finished here, and in 80 home days, they drew 1,872,108. Here's a pitch in for a call strike, 1-1. So the Mets, of course, will outdraw the Houston Astros for the 1966 season at home. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on it on the ground to second. Chuck Hiller up with the ball, plays to Craneful. And there are 2 men out. Now Joe Morgan's coming up. He had walked and was called out on strike.
Morgan. Number 18.
Nobody on, no score. Houston batting in the top of the 6th, and the pitch by Jack Fisher is outside. Ball 1. Fisher takes the side, works 1-0, and it's high and away. 2 balls, no strikes. This is a 2-0 delivery. Curveball. Blown away, so it is 3-0 now. Fisher takes just a moment, doing a little groundskeeping on the front side of the mound. This will be a 3-0 pitch to Joe Morgan. Fisher has walked 1, struck out 3. Pitch is high and away, so he walks Morgan for the second time. Gives the Astros a runner at first base.
First base, Chuck.
As Fisher had retired 9 consecutive batters before giving up the walk to Morgan on that pitch. Harrison has hit into a double play and flied out to left field. Pitch sets inside for a ball. Former Commissioner of Baseball Ford Frick was doing a little visiting before tonight's ball game here at Shea Stadium. Joe Morgan takes his lead at first, and Fisher throws over, not in time. Again, Jack Fisher sets up and deals. Pitch is low to Harrison, 2-0. Harrison, the cleanup batter, and manager Grady Hatton's order. Hatton running the club from the coaching lines at third base here tonight. Now Fisher throws over, but Morgan's back safely with 2 men out. Fisher steps off the rubber. And at the plate, Chuck Harrison steps out. Now we set again with Morgan leading at first, and a 2-0 sidearm delivery in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. Fisher going sidearm, brought it in. Rusty Staub moves out to the on-deck circle. Rob Gardner against Chris Zachary. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and line. Down the line in left field. It is a fair ball going to the corner. Morgan's on his way to third. Napoleon up with the ball. Morgan's being held up at third base. The relay comes in. Morgan safe at third, and Chuck Harrison is at second with a double. Hit number 5 for the Astros off Jack Fisher. Houston has runners second and third. 2 men out. Rusty Staub coming up. That ball was drilled on the line and left by Chuck Harrison. It went all the way to the wall. Morgan under a full head of steam. Rounded second, came charging on, took his turn at third. Grady Hatton, the coach, at third base, came down the line and held him up so that the relay came in the third. He was on the bag.
Right fielder, Rusty Staub.
Rusty Staub has grounded out short to first and grounded out pitcher to first so far tonight. The Astros are batting in the top half of the 6th inning. There's no score in this game. Staub chokes up on the bat a little bit. Fisher works straight away. There's a swing and a ground ball to second. Chuck Hiller over and up with it. Plays the crane pool, and the side is out. The Astros, no runs. They had a hit and a walk, no errors, and 2 left. The score at the end of 5.5 innings is Houston nothing to Mets nothing.
This is Earl Putney inviting you to join us on WGY Radio every Saturday evening beginning October 1st when Preview moves to a different time period. We'll be with you 6:15 to 7 every Saturday evening with interviews with important or new authors, reviewing bestsellers, book notes about forthcoming publications of importance or interest to you. The world of books is full of interest, adventure, politics, science, education, poetry, and we'll glean a list of children's books and recommend those you might care to add to your family library. New music, top entertainers, all for you and yours on Preview, 6:15 to 7, Saturday evening, beginning October 1st. William Sayers, author of the new novel about a Peace Corps reject, is going to be our guest, and reviews of this book have been favorable. I think you'll enjoy our conversation with author William Sayers about his book titled Do Good, published by Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston. That's Preview, 6:15 to 7 every Saturday evening on WGY Schenectady.
We're going now to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Larry Dierker firing down the warm-up tosses, and so far the Mets have not had a hit or a base runner off this young man. He's 20 years of age. He's won 10 games this year for the Astros. And through the first 5 innings, he has retired 15 consecutive batters. Ed Pursue's been up 1 time, and he flied to right. Pursue's up for his 2nd time. He's a right-hand batter. Larry Dierker takes the side and deals the pitch. Swung on it, missed, strike 1. Dierker has struck out 5 and, of course, walked none so far in this game. At Connie Mack Stadium in Philadelphia, going to the top half of the 4th inning, the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing, the Philadelphia Phillies nothing. Claude Osteen against Chris Short. Swinging a high pop to the right side. Chuck Harrison to the edge of the infield grass. And now he's called off, and Joe Morgan makes the catch on the edge of the infield grass. Harrison was right there with his arms extended, and suddenly was called off by Joe Morgan, who made the catch.
Napoleon.
So now, Larry Dierker has retired 16 consecutive batters from the start of the game, and Danny Napoleon's up. He's been up 1 time, and he struck out swinging. San Francisco Giants are scheduled at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh. Start of that game still is held up by rain in Pittsburgh. Swing and a miss, strike 1 by Napoleon. Atlanta and Cincinnati scheduled at Crosley Field in Cincinnati are already postponed because of rain. The Cubs are at St. Louis at the end of an inning. Cubs nothing, Cardinals nothing. Ferguson Jenkins against Dick Hughes. Here's a breaking pitch, low and away. It's 1-1. The American League, the Yankees didn't score in the top of the 1st. At the end of a half inning, Yanks nothing, the White Sox coming to bat. Dan Boston against Fred Trigg. Here's a swing and a foul ball to the right side, out of play. Minnesota Twins defeated the Baltimore Orioles 10-7 first game of the Tri-Nighter. Mudcat Grant got the win. Dave McNally took the loss. Harmon Killebrew had his 38th homer. Rich Rollins and Bob Allison also homered for Minnesota. Second game through an inning and a half. Minnesota 2, Baltimore nothing. Jim Merritt against Jim Palmer. Killebrew hit his 39th homer in the first with 1 on. Here's a swing and a ground ball to short. Picked up there by Sonny Jackson on to Chuck Harrison, and Napoleon grounds out short to first. 2 away, and Jack Fisher's coming up as Larry Dierker continues his perfect game pitching, having retired 17 consecutive batters. The end of a half inning, Kansas City nothing, Detroit coming to bat. Jim Odom against Earl Wilson, and Cleveland is at California in the latest start. Pitch to Fisher is low for a ball. Fisher was up in the 3rd inning, and he grounded out short to first. The fans here have become aware this last 2 innings that Larry Dierker has something special going. Here's the pitch inside for a ball. So they've begun to stir around a little. Count is 2-0 to Jack Fisher. Mets They're batting in the bottom half of the sixth. There's no score in the game. Here's a swing, a ground ball, and it's taken deep of third, and it's a foul ball. Very close, and Aspromonte went over, played the ball, threw it on, but it is a foul ball. And a 2-1 count to Fisher. Astro was about 3 steps back of the bag as he made the play on the ball. Fisher now back, steps in with a 2-1 count. Dierker's pitch, low for a ball. So now Larry Dierker has gone behind 3 balls and 1 strike to Jack Fisher. The Mets, of course, have not had a base runner. As Dierker has pitched perfect baseball to this point, there are 2 men out. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Fisher taking all the way, bluffs the bunt. It's in there for a called strike 2. So the count's out full to Fisher. Now, he was taking that one all the way as he squared around in an exaggerated bunting movement to take the pitch. Here is the payoff delivery. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left and going back into the warning track, and now coming back in is Lee May. He makes the catch on the outfield grass after having retreated first onto the track and then come in. Crowd's out in order. Dierker's perfect game is still in order. No runs, no hits, there is none left. Score at the end of 6 full innings is Houston nothing and the Mets nothing. Bob Murphy will be along for the play-by-play in just a moment. Right now, here's the word triangle. Leading off for the Houston Astros. Fisher out of his wind-up, the pitch, ground ball to shortstop. Bud Harrelson snags it, straightens up, throws 1 down. 1 away in the 9th, and now Lee May comes up. May has 1 for 2 and reached on a walk his last time at bat. Bob Ike, Chris Zachary, and Rob Gardner are the pitchers in the next to last game of the season. Left-hand batter with good power. Fisher into his windup. Now the pitch on the way. A foul ball hit back up into the crowd. No play. The last of the 9th inning. As Larry Dierker bids for a perfect game, he will face the bottom third of the batting order. In pursuit, Dan Napoleon, Jack Fisher. A ground ball bounced to second base. Hiller is there, grabs the hop, throws to Crane, pulls 2 down. Well, unless the Astros can get a run on the top of the 9th inning, the perfect game for 9 innings will be to no avail.
Number 8.
Bill Heath is the batter. He's been up 3 times and bounced out all 3. The last time into a double play. Drive right hitter. If pursued, shortens up a little bit at third and plays wide of the line. And the pitch by Jack Fisher, a drive in the air to center. Cleon Jones is under it waiting. And he puts it away. The side is out 1, 2, 3. And Jack Fisher has put out the Astros over 9 innings. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And at the end of 8.5 innings, it's the Houston Astros nothing and the New York Mets nothing.
Bring enough money to make a decent life for yourself and your wife and kids. Poverty means depression. depressing, frustrating hopelessness. Everybody is against poverty. As a country, we've declared war against it. But that's much too easy to say. If you're really committed to helping people find the way out of the misery of poverty, then Vista is something for you to find out about. Vista, volunteers in service to America. You don't give money, you don't give food or clothes. What you give is you. For a year, you live among the poor. They get to know you, and you get to know them as people, as human beings. Will they like you? It all depends. Maybe a year in Vista will tell you something about the sort of person you are, too. Write to Vista, Box B, Washington, D.C.
Last of the ninth inning, the Astros nothing and the Mets nothing. 20-year-old Larry Durker is entering the bottom of the ninth inning working on a perfect game. However, even if he retires to side 1, 2, 3 in the last of the ninth, the perfect game is not over because Jack Fisher blanks the Astros tonight. Reminds us of the game in Cincinnati 2 years ago when Jim Maloney had a no-hitter over the first 10 innings. Here's the pitch on the way, and in pursuit, take fast side, ball one. Johnny Lewis, leading off the 11th inning that night in Cincinnati, hit a home run over the center field fence, and the Mets won it 1-0. Now Durker into his windup. Down comes the pitch. A drive hit hard to left field. Racing toward us to left fielder May. He doesn't make a play and breaks off of his skin. Pursuit is racing to second base. He's in the second standing up. Napoleon is being called back to the dugout. That ball could have been caught. It would have been a good play. It was a hard-hit line drive, and May racing toward the left field line. At the last moment, reached across trying to get a glove on it. The ball hit his glove, and again it appeared from here. Caromed away, and he had to go after it. Down in the Houston dugout, a number of the players glancing up at the press box with a feeling that should have been scored as an error instead of a double. As Durker has now been deprived of his no-hitter, but I want to tell you that was a tough one to score. I would not have wanted to be the official scorer. There was nothing easy about it. You can certainly see where the ball could have been caught, but by the same token, it was a mighty tough chance. Ron Hunt is coming out of the dugout as the pinch hitter.
Your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen.
Jim Bunning hurled his perfect game here at Shea Stadium on June 14th, 2 years ago. And Larry Durker had a perfect game over 8 innings. He had retired 24 consecutive games. Now Ron Hunt is going to hit for Danny Napoleon. Game of the majors was authored by Mr. Sandy Koufax against the Chicago Cubs. September 9th, 1965, last year. Now Hunt is stepping in. The Astros are looking for the bunt. Warm-up action for the Mets. Western has a decision coming up. Crowd much alive. What a ball game this is. Mets have a chance to win it now here in the last of the ninth inning. And time is called as Durker fires the fastball. It does not count. Houston players openly critical of the scoring, and naturally they would be. They'd much prefer to see the outfielder given an error so that Durker's no-hitter would still be alive. Now the stretch by Durker. Hunt around to bunt. Busted foul. He's trying to make Aspermonti, the third baseman, handle the ball to open the way for Ed Pursuit to get to third. Jack Fisher is scheduled up next. Took a look at the line drive hit by Pursuit on the videotape replay over in our next booth, and all were of the opinion it was definitely a base hit. Here's the pitch on the way. Look out, a wild pitch. Moving to third goes Ed Pursuit. That one got away from Larry Durker, went over the head of Ron Hunt, and all the way to the backstop. And the winning run is on third. Now Grady Hatton going out to the mound to talk to Larry Durker. In the Houston bullpen, Danny Coons and Carol Simbera are warming up. And Grady Hatton is on the mound now talking with his young pitcher, Larry Durker. Now Grady is motioning for his outfield to come in. There's no point in playing deep. You can't throw anybody out from out there. So Hatton is bringing his outfield in. He'll play them very shallow, hoping on a base hit to grab it on the first stop and try and throw Pursuit out. The infield will be in. The outfield is playing extremely shallow. The long outfield fly would win the ball game, and so Grady Hatton brings them in close. The infield is camped tight on the edge of the infield grass. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Ron Hunt. Larry Durker looking in for his sign now. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Ron. Ron hitting .285, hoping to drive that winning run home. Mets nothing, Houston nothing. Last of the 9th inning. Pursuit on third, nobody out. Now the windup by Durker. Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss and a curve, and the bat goes all the way down to third. Larry Durker really broke off a major league curveball and badly fooled Ron Hunt. Well, Whitey Herzog brings the bat back to him. Pursuit leading off with a double to left. Took third on a wild pitch, and Durker hoping to work his way out of it. He has struck out 6 in this game tonight. Now has gone in front on Hunt 1 and 2. Here's the pitch on the way. That is inside ball 2. It's 2 and 2 on Ron Hunt. That's sorely in need of that long outfield fly to break this one up. Here's the windup by Durker and the 2-2 pitch. And it's a line drive off the glove of Joe Morgan. Racing home as Ed Pursuit. The game's over. The Mets win it 1-0. Eddie Pursuit flies home. With the infield in, that line drive was almost caught by Joe Morgan. He made a leaping try, got his glove on it, couldn't hold it. It trickled out towards second base. That was all Ed Pursuit needed. It'll be a base hit for Ron Hunt to drive home the only run of the night. So Ron has broken it up with a base hit off the glove of Joe Morgan. Had the infield been back, that was an easy chance for Joe Morgan. But with the infield put into a desperate spot with a runner on third and nobody out. They were playing camp tight on the edge of the infield grass, and Morgan gave it a great try. He leaped as high as he could into the air, just barely got his fingertips on it. Couldn't hold it. It trickled to second. Pursuit came home, and that was it. In the 9th inning, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. What a ball game this has been tonight at Shea Stadium. What a story written by the young right-hander, Larry Durker. Durker had a perfect game for 8 innings. He retired 24 consecutive batters. And actually, only 1 man hit the ball with real authority. That was Hiller in the 7th inning when he hit a hard line drive that was caught by Joe Morgan. Otherwise, not only had Durker been getting the side out, he had been not letting the ball be hit hard at all.
Thank you.
The Mets win it in the ninth inning on a double by Ed Pursuit. He took third on a wild pitch, and he scores on the base hit by Hunt against the drawn-in infield. What a pitching duel between the young veteran Jack Fisher, who's only 27 and tonight has won his 11th of the year, and the 20-year-old right-hander Larry Dierker. So the line totals for New York: 1 run, 2 base hits, no errors. The Mets had only 1 man left on, and that was in the ninth inning. The Houston Astros, no run, 6 hits, no errors, and the Astros had a total of 7 left on. Fisher shut out the Astros the last time the Mets were in Houston, and he has shut them out here tonight for his second shutout of the year. Down in Houston, Fisher's mounted opponent was Mike Cuellar as the author of the shutout. So Fisher, by winning tonight, has won his 11th game of the year. Jack now is 11 and 14. The loser, Larry Dierker. Larry now has won 10 and lost 7. What a ball game this was. Fisher pitched brilliantly in his own right. On several occasions, Jack pitched out of a jam. For example, in the first inning of the game tonight, the Astros had runners on first and third, nobody out. Sonny Jackson, who came into the game with 47 steals, tried to steal, and was cut down by Greg Goosen, and Fisher did a good job of keeping him close. After Morgan walked, Fisher got the cleanup batter Harrison to hit into a double play to retire the side. In the second inning, Fisher got the side out with a man in scoring position and only 1 man away. He pitched out of a jam in the 6th inning when there were runners on second and third, but he got Rusty Staub to bounce out. He pitched out of a jam in the 8th inning. He had a courageous night going and pitched a very strong ball game. The Mets winning their 66th game of the year. The crowd was 11,017.